We are past the midway point of the month of August. September is less than 2 weeks away. And, yeah, college football is less than a month away. Well, it's less than 2 weeks away. Our first college football game is supposed to be August 29th, 13 days away. Our first NFL game is less than a month away. Does it feel like football's here? It doesn't. Seth Harp, The Bar, Harp on Sports, podcast, media, of course, audio network. Like, follow, share, follow, like, at Harp on Sports Twitter, at Harp on Sports Instagram, harponsports.com. Of course, Harp on Sports YouTube channel as well. What's going on here? Well, I looked like Brad Pitt the other day, growing the goatee. Saw my cowboy hat. I got a couple of them. Put it on. Look like Tim McGraw. So, do you want Brad Pitt, Seth Harp, or do you prefer Tim McGraw, Seth Harp? I mean, Seth Harp. But no, I'll shave this coming up here in the next few weeks. But it's a little Tim McGraw, Brad Pitt look for you here in the month of August. All right. Enough of that ridiculousness, but you know it's true. The thing is, you know it's true. Where to begin? Well, the blame game, Byrne, baby, Byrne, and a little high wire act. Interesting that here we are, a little over a week removed from when the Big Ten decided that's it. The Pac-12 decided that's it. The SEC and the ACC crossed their fingers and hoped, begged. The ACC and the SEC begged like a dog the Big 12 to play football. Big 12 said yes, and here we are. Well, we all know that at this point, there is the writing on the wall. Intelligent, smart people have watched this play out over the course of the last few months. Everything that foolish, absurd, sycophants, and just downright arrogant people have believed had been wrong. Remember, we're going to peak in April. 170,000 American corpses. We're going to peak in April. 170,000 American corpses. I love my country. Apparently, a lot of you don't like Americans. You'd rather have them be dead in the ground so you can own libs on Twitter and Facebook. I'm going to ignore all these American deaths so I can own libs. Well, here we are. And, you know, with the way major college football is split, this is just a matter of time. Like I said, intelligent, smart people see how this is going to play out. The anti-mask crowd. Well, guess what? It has now hit college campuses. And here's where adults are going to blame, because this is what's going to happen, the college football season for the SEC and the ACC. They'll come, they'll practice, and then as the students arrive, 20 of them get it. Guess what? And here in my beautiful state of Florida, 3 biggest cities with the 3 biggest populations of it, Jacksonville, Tampa, and Miami. Guess who's streaming into Gainesville? Florida. Prediction. Florida will be the epicenter of the SEC collapse of this. Mark it down. Go back and look. How much have I been wrong about? Told you're going to have to sacrifice your summer if you wanted to fall. Said this wasn't going away. Said they were going to have 250,000 deaths before it was all over. Oh, you're stupid. Oh, you're arrogant. You're one of Fauci sheeple. Guilty, and not only guilty, but correct on all of it. Florida will be the epicenter of this. Why? Because you've got 3 major metropolitan cities here, 3 NFL cities here, and these 3 cities feed this campus. It's not just Florida. Florida State, Miami and Miami and Tallahassee will disrupt the ACC, and Florida will disrupt the SEC. Watch. This is like clockwork. This is like clockwork. You could write this stuff down. So then the finger pointing will begin. Florida ruined it for us. This person ruined it for us. Here's what I think is so interesting. Today, Greg Byrne, the athletic director at Alabama, took a picture of a bunch of students at a bar in Tuscaloosa. Byrne, baby, Byrne. The athletic director at Alabama took a picture of a bunch of students at a bar. No masks. None. And said, come on, we've got to do better. Wear your masks. I can see where this is going now, too. I can see where this is going with the students and the athletic directors. And it's not fair to the students. It's not fair to the students. I'm going to stand up for the students at every major campus because right now, I'm telling you here on August 16th, when it's all said and done, everyone's going to blame the students for college football being canceled. Even though 2 of the major conferences canceled their season before the students even were on campus. The SEC, the ACC, the Big 12 may even pull the plug before we even get to a season. But mark my words, when it's said and done, when it's all said and done, adults are going to blame the students for the seasons being canceled. They are. Look at them without masks. We could have a season. If they'd have socially distanced and done all, we could have had a season. You do not get to walk around at the grocery store, in public, on social media, demeaning people that wear masks, demeaning people that are socially distanced, bow your chest out, act tough, and then when the plug gets pulled on the season, blame the students that followed your lead. I'm not going to blame 18 to 22-year-olds when adults have been screaming at them for the better part of the last 3-4 months. You don't need to wear that mask. You don't need to wear that mask. Kids, young men, young women, their electricity, they follow the path of least resistance. That's what they do. The path of least resistance. How do I know that? Because it hadn't been that long, gang. Maybe it has been that long now. But if you take a step back, after my freshman year, I didn't sign up for any 8 a.m. classes. I said the earliest class that I think I had after my freshman year was 9:30. I believe so. I had 3 8 a.m. classes my freshman year. That's the end of that. That's the end of that. Which is ironic because when I started in radio, the alarm started to go off at 2:45 in the morning for, 6 months after I graduated. It's like, I avoid these 8 a.m. classes, avoid these 8 a.m. classes 6 months after I graduated. All right, just have to get into the sports updates. 2:45 in the morning, alarm clock off. There you go. So, but it's the path of least resistance, right? Do I have to go, voluntary? Voluntary workout? Okay, I'm good. Students are the path of least resistance. Not only students, but a lot of human beings are the path of least resistance. They're electricity. And the lazier you are, the more electric you are. I love working out. I'm in my P90X mode now, once again. Guns are out. My favorite pull-ups? V pull-ups. What are V pull-ups? Chin, knuckle. Chin, knuckles. My favorite pull-ups. Because they're hardest. Any moron can do regular chin-ups. Reverse. My favorite. Diamond push-ups, my favorite. They're the hardest. There. So, that's not how 18 to 22-year-olds think. And when you, social media, where students live, and I give them a lot of credit. I do. They're just following your lead. They're following your lead. Parents would have been wearing masks, and everybody come out and say, okay, we've got to wear these masks. Put your mask on, and follow that lead. But what have they seen? Oh, well, we don't know. You clogged the Twitter sphere, Facebook, all forms of social media with your rights. Your rights. Don't forget about your rights. Don't wear a mask. They don't work, which they do. They do. Look at the countries that wear them the most. They have the most success with this. And you can sit here and spit this all you want, that we test more. That's why you have so many more cases. Why do we have so many more dead people then? Oh, we test more. That's why we have so many more. Why do we have so many more dead people? Oh, they're gouging the numbers. Always an excuse. You ever notice people condoning death have the most excuses? And this Alabama, the fact that the athletic director of Alabama took a picture of students at a bar, a bunch of students, and posted it and said, we've got to do better. It is already being set up that they're going to blame the students for this. That way they don't have SEC athletic directors aren't going to take responsibility for this. They aren't. Not going to do it. The Big Ten and the Pac-12s came in and said, oh, look, we're going to shut this down. We're going to shut this down. All the doctors that we're talking to, they talk about the heart problems and the things that we're going to shut it down. We're going to shut it down. And then the SEC and the ACC and the Big 12, who always pick on the Big 10 and Pac-12 and say they don't belong, now want them to be there, even though they say they're better than them and don't need them. Okay, try the logic on that one for a minute. But now they are upset that they're not a part of it, but we don't need you. Okay, then why do you care? And to circle back around, those students that are out there, I don't fault them one bit. Following adult leads. Following your lead. You cannot be an anti-masker and then be mad when the students coming up here in a month spread this thing all over campuses because they didn't wear a mask. You can't. How can you? I want football. Here, boom, here you go. Explosion of positive tests. Well, play anyway. Not how it works. Not how it works. And look, we've talked about how you could bubble them up, but you could attempt to make this successful. You'd have to pay them. Nobody wants to do that. Last week I was furious on this thing, and I am still mad. I am still furious. I think we as a sports media failed. Me included. Failed. Didn't talk about it enough. I've talked about it enough on the podcast. I talked about it on the air and we received phone call and tweets. I need an escape. I need an escape. Well, instead of focusing on the big issue right in front of you, you went off exit ramps, and now we're back to the middle. And guess what? Issue's still here. I'm gonna deal with that tomorrow. If you got to deal with the biggest problem at hand. If you're moving into a house, you get your washer and dryer out front, and your dishwasher, and all your big appliances. Don't worry about those later. You're gonna have to deal with them eventually. They're not gonna go away. So what do? Deflect, blame, defect. Knock yourself out. Again, the writing's on the wall with all this. It is. But the fact that the athletic director at Alabama already posting pictures, and then Kirk Herbstreit chimed in, come on, we got to do better. I agree. But I don't fault them. I'm not going to fault 18 to 22-year-olds because the majority of you on social media sat there and moaned and griped and complained, I'm not wearing a mask. Saw you again today. I was out and about. Saw you again today. I have seen infinitely more adults over the age of 30 without masks than I've seen people under the age of 30 without them. Oh, well, I guess they're not wearing a mask. I don't have to. Again, under the age of 22, once you get a little bit older, 26, 27, it's different. But students and younger. I've got a nephew that's 21, another one that's 17. Niece and nephew, niece, all under the age of 10. They kind of follow the path of least resistance. Their electricity. So, don't be the person, and that's going to happen. It's exactly what students ruined it for us. Sure, you have a little to do with it. Maybe. Maybe just a little bit. Tiny bit. Okay. A little high wire act for you as the National Football League, no preseason. Here we are. We're getting ready to, I guess, We got 3 weeks more practices before the NFL starts. Our first college football game's 13 days away, and there's a certain amount of bastardization of something where it doesn't reflect what you're used to consuming. Coca-Cola tastes different now than it did to my parents when they were kids. Sugar, things have changed, right? What's in it? High fructose corn syrup. It's a different chemical makeup. You look around at other new recipes, new designs. Certain things are different. Cadbury eggs are smaller. Cadbury eggs in England are different than Cadbury eggs in America. The compound that they do use. What I'm implying here and what I'm talking about is things, just because you have something back doesn't mean it was the way it was. I loved Saved by the Bell. I loved Saved by the Bell. Junior high, I remember every day coming home. Of course, it was on Saturday morning, but I remember in junior high, 7th grade, I was in the 7th grade when I discovered Saved by the Bell, that Saved by the Bell, and it does, Saved by the Bell is college football. It's a high wire act. Watch. Saved by the Bell is college football. Here's how. I'd come home from school, 7th grade, watch it. It was on TBS. It was on TNT, on those two channels. And then it was on channels. This is how long ago this has been. Almost 30 years. It was on Channel 6 back in Auburn, Indiana. I can't remember what Channel 6 was. I just remember it was on Channel 6. TBS was 9. I can't remember what was 11, but Channel 6, 9, and 11. 6, 9, and 11 had Saved by the Bell. Now they were skewed. So you go to Channel 9, WGN. There you go. TBS was 11. There you go. WGN would have Saved by the Bell first, and then TBS would have it after that. So 5 o'clock, 5:30, Saved by the Bell would be on. Then it would be on 6 on TBS. And then you come back down to Channel 6 and it would be on at 7:30. So you got your Saved by the Bell fix, junior high. Well, they were juniors and seniors in Saved by the Bell when I was in the 7th and 8th grade. So when they were seniors in high school, graduating, I was in the 8th grade. My freshman year in high school, Saved by the Bell, the college years came out. Here's the cast. It's like, not the same. That's what sports is right now. It's like, well, we've got live sports, but it's not, I can't go and it doesn't feel the same. Yeah, but you for months just said, I just want sports. I want sports. Here's what it is. It's a watered down version. It's a watered down version. You ever go to a party, go to a house? Hey, you want a beer? Sure. What's this? That's a Natty Light. No. You wanted a beer. Exactly. Now, if you walk in to a bar, I want a beer. You want a beer? Sure. I'll get you a beer. And somebody comes back with a Guinness. Somebody comes back with a Budweiser. Somebody comes back with a Harp Lager. It's like, all right. If I go to a bar, hey, I'll get you a beer, Harp. Here's a 75-cent draft. Ice House. What? See? And that's what this college football season is. It's the I'll get you a beer. That's what it was last year. You came back with a Budweiser or Guinness. Now it's I'll get you a beer. Come back with 75-cent watered down Ice House. The beer's a beer. Sports isn't a sport. So that's what this is now. And sooner people wear masks, sooner people do things, the sooner we can have it back, but we don't care. We're to be wrong and talk trash than be right. And you don't need to be owned. There's people that you don't like. If somebody's smarter than me and they say something like, Seth, look, I could despise you. And if you say, Seth, jump off the house. You're going to get hurt if you jump off the house. Get down. Get down. My most mortal enemy. Seth, get down. Don't jump off the house. Don't, now you're going to get hurt. Whatever. Watch this. That's sound advice even though I don't like you. But I'm not going to try to own you by jumping off the house. That's what America's doing. All right. Harp on Sports, the bar, the podcast, at Harp on Sports Twitter, at Harp on Sports Instagram, Harp on Sports Facebook page, harponsports.com. Harp on Sports YouTube channel. Follow, share, like. Share, follow, like. Why am I wearing the American flag? I look like Tim McGraw. Alabama. Come on. Alabama in the news. Alabama started this podcast. It's what we're about. The athletic director at Alabama is already setting the ground so they can blame the students when the season gets canceled. It's wrong. Adults are to blame, not the students. You screwed it up. You. People my age and older screwed it up. Not them. They're going to get blamed for it, though. Watch. Haven't been wrong about anything yet. Not going to start now. Third week of August is here. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. You can check out the podcast, Harp on Sports, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Buzzsprout, Harp on Sports under the bar heading. I post on all the social media platforms. Again, at Harp on Sports, Twitter, Instagram, harponsports.com, Harp on Sports Facebook page. Share, follow, like, follow, share. And as always, appreciate it. Remember, stay clean, stay focused, stay strong. Frankenstein. Have fun with your friends.